Hi there, single mamas. I want to talk to you today. First of all, my name is Paula, and I want to tell you a little bit of my story and my background because I think you're going to be able to hopefully relate to it. My children are grown now, but back when they were in well, let's see. I have two. I have a son and a daughter. So back when I was a single mom, it was for quite a period of time. So it's about the time my son started kindergarten and all through school until he graduated from high school. And then my daughter is 6 years older. So there was 12, 15, 13, something like that, 12, 13 years where I was a single parent with both of my children. And I'll tell you, it was a tough time for me. And it's been a while. I know it's been a while, but some things you never forget because you just remember how hard things were. And especially when it comes to your babies, right? I mean, we're mamas and we want to give our children the best of everything. And back when I was a single mom, I was working a 40-hour work week, so I worked for corporate America. I had a decent job, so 40 hours a week. So I would drop my kids off at daycare when they were little, the younger years. I would drop them off. My son at daycare for more years than my daughter, obviously, because she's 6 years older than him. But having to drop him off at daycare from the time he was a very small child, and then having to go to work and work my 8-hour day, but included a lunchtime, so 9-hour day. And then there was travel time back and forth from work to home. So it's about a 10-hour day at least that I was away from my children. And, but I had to do what I had to do, right? I did not have the option to stay home with them because I had to work. I was their main providing parent. So some of the things that still stick with me after all these years, gosh, when I start thinking about it, it all comes flooding back. But some of the things that I remember were, especially some of the rougher mornings. You know how some days you have good days, you have bad days. Your kids are that way too, right? So some of the days when they could have really, when they wanted me to be home with them, they woke up not feeling so great or just having a sad day or whatever, and I wanted to just be able to stay home and snuggle them. I couldn't. I had to drop them off at daycare, and then it would sit with me all day. I would worry about them, and just, the guilt of not being able to be there when they needed me all the time was heartbreaking. And then other things I remember is, as he got into school, my daughter was already in school. I couldn't do the fun things like be a room mom or be able to be the mom that works one day a week in the class or takes cupcakes into school, that kind of thing. I couldn't really enroll them in any sports, anything like that, because as you know, that's very time consuming. And when you work Monday through Friday, being gone 10 hours a day, you're not available to run them around to practices and things like that. So I feel like they really missed out on a lot of things. Plus, even if I could have done that, I didn't have the money. I was earning an income that barely paid the bills. It kept a roof over our head. We lived in a small apartment, nothing fancy. But sometimes we drove around in an old little brown Toyota, nothing fancy. It was a very bare bones existence, and there wasn't a lot of extra money for extra fun things, extra toys, extra clothes. They had the bare basics, okay? Which I'm very grateful for. The place we lived was safe, so I was able to get us by, but the money was, there were some months that were easier than others. Some things I do remember are if I needed something extra, like if I needed new tires or something outside of the norm. It was tough, you guys. I had to juggle. I had to buy different food that was less expensive for a couple weeks to balance all that. What else? Sometimes, it was embarrassing too because my landlady lived right below me, so it was a little fourplex, and she lived right below me, and there were times when I had to ask her for a few extra days to give the rent check because I just didn't have the money. It was definitely a balancing act, and it was tricky sometimes, and so that was embarrassing. So there was shame because I wasn't being able to be there for my babies as much as I wish I could have. Guilt over that for sure. So I basically was with them. I would get them on the way home. We'd have a couple hours at night to spend together, and then they had to go to bed. So there really wasn't much time in the week at all to really spend with them, give them quality time. And then the weekend was such a flurry, getting the house cleaned, having to go get groceries, trying, do a couple things with them. There was just so many feelings of not being there enough. Of course, the guilt and the shame, and and the lack of extra money. So I would have given anything back then to be able to have something like what I do now that I could do from home to earn additional money. I mean, my options back then to earn additional money would have been to go get another job on the weekends, maybe at a store, a restaurant or something. But then I'm away from them even more. And then there's more guilt. And then I have to hire a sitter. So there's money coming out of that. Oh, by the way, my daycare bill, I remember, was the second biggest bill every month behind my rent. It was, if you're a single mom and you're paying daycare, you know what I'm talking about. So it was just so many mixed emotions, and just wishing I could give my kids more. Of course, while trying to be grateful for what I had, it was just, it was kind of a hamster wheel, and I felt like I didn't have a whole lot of choices. But back then, there was not anything you could do online. In fact, for a while back then, there was no online. I remember when the internet first started coming onto the scene. At first, I'm like, internet, what's that? So you guys, there weren't the options that there are now. And I would have given anything to be able to do something after I put them to bed at night, while I still had a couple hours, something I could work at from my computer, and build something that was going to make our lives better, right? Especially for them, but something that I could build, not having to go out of the house after there was already, 50 hours I was out of the house during the week, having to go do that more. And pay daycare. This is something that I can help you guys do, and you can do it, after the babies go to bed, or, if you've got like a visitation situation with your kid's dad, maybe the weekend, like I had that every other weekend kind of thing. If you have that, the weekend that they're with their dad, you could work on building a business from home. So I have something really, really powerful to give you, and it's something that I've been in this industry a really long time, and I feel like I can help you and guide you because I understand where you're coming from. I understand all the feelings, and I understand the frustrations and wanting to do more for your children, but really being stuck with your options. Now that we can do things online, I've got the perfect setup for you, for the right person. It's not for everybody, but if you're somebody that's really serious about changing your life for your babies and just really being able to give them more options, more things, and to have some more time with them, because you can eventually build this up to have time freedom. And time freedom, I would have given anything to be able to have more time with them, especially looking back now. Gosh, the time went so fast because we were just on that rat race of getting up early, getting them ready, feeding them, getting them to daycare. I go to work, same thing day after day after day. And then on top of that, having financial challenges. It was kind of a nightmare, to be honest. But because of that, because I know where you're at and how you're feeling and your frustrations, I can guide you and mentor you and give you the tools and help you and be in your corner and just be your biggest cheerleader and support you and help you basically change your life and that of your children. whether you're looking for just maybe an extra, maybe you just want a new car. I mean, I used to pray that my car wouldn't break down. It was this beater old car. Maybe you want to just have a safer, better car. Or maybe you want to build this up into something where you can even do it instead of working for corporate America or wherever you work. So I would love to talk to you, just to ask you some questions to see if this would be for you. I know I can help you. I'm very confident in the fact that if you really want this, I can help you do it because I know how to build a business like this. So if you're a single mama and you're just kind of at the end of your rope and you just don't know what options you have, please go to my DMs and just say, I've got questions, can we talk? And I would love to chat with you. I'm not going to pressure you into doing anything you're uncomfortable with, but I really do feel like I've got something so valuable for the right person. And I would have been the right person for this back then. I wish I would have had something like this. So if you want to know more, please reach out to me and I can help you, sister. Trust me, I get it. I can help you. We'll work together. We'll lock arms. We'll do this together. And I would love nothing more than to see you flourish and see your babies flourish and just give you more options, whether it's financially, time freedom, also, there's a whole lot of personal growth. You're going to become a more confident. You're going to become a person that feels like you can take on the world. And I know when we're mamas, we want to do that for our babies. And plus, you'd be teaching them and showing them that when you have challenges, you can do things to get yourself out of those challenges. Sometimes you've got to be at a tough place before you find your way out of that. But you're teaching your children some very good lessons during this time too. And again, you get to do it from home where they're at, safe and snug in their beds at night. So reach out to me. Again, my name is Paula and I would absolutely love to help you. So we'll talk later soon, I hope. Take care. Bye-bye.